Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar. Well, Sun Pharma numbers at the bottom of your screen. The stock has spiked up. We have revenues coming in higher than the estimates. At 10,900 crores, of course, was the revenue expectation. And this time around, the company has gone ahead and reported revenues of 10,952 crore rupees. That is actually largely in line with what the street was working with. We also have the profit number, which has come in at 2,260 crore rupees, and that is where we are seeing a 300 crore rupee beat. The stock actually spiking to the day's high. We also have the EBITDA number, and the margins also looking better than what the street was working with. But we do have 20
margins versus expectation of, I think, of 25.5%.
Okay.
So a beat on margins.
Okay, so we do have Ekta with us. Ekta, looks like a good set.
Well, yes, definitely. Like you said, the revenue is in line with estimates. We were anticipating a 13% growth. They've come in with a 14% growth. And it's the EBITDA which is really outperformed in terms of expectations. So the EBITDA is up around 12.5%. Remember that last quarter as well, it was a positive showing in terms of the margins. And that's what seems to have continued. So the margins have come in at around 27%. The street was anticipating around 25% in terms of margins. So it's definitely the operating performance which is really surprised in terms of the upside, and that has trickled down to the profit as well, because the street was anticipating maybe a marginal decline in the profitability this quarter, but despite a high base, they have managed to report good profitability of around 2,260 odd crores. What the street likes further about Sun Pharma is that these numbers have come despite a weak performance from Taro this quarter, where the Taro numbers came in a couple of days ago, and remember that it was a complete disappointment with adjusted margins at 0% and a reported net loss as well. And, that was expected to be one of the key factors which would probably pull the profitability as well as the operating performance down. But that hasn't come through, and hence that is a big, big positive for Sun Pharma. Just want to point out that we will be waiting for a breakup in terms of the US business as well as the specialty sales. Remember, the specialty sales last quarter were very strong, $191 million. It comprises of a whole host of products such as Sequoia, which is an eye drop, as well as Illumia, which is basically used for psoriasis. So all of those drugs, even Winlevi, which is an acne drug and is expected to, pick up pace as compared to Absorica, which they used to have and started seeing generic competition. So there is a whole host of drugs in their specialty portfolio, which is adding a lot of momentum to their sales across markets. So despite the fact that Taro came in with a weak set of numbers, the street is happy with that kind of operating performance, which is really led by a strong growth from the specialty sales. So it's a thumbs up for Sun Pharma. As you can see, it's been one of the more resilient pharmaceutical stocks, and today it's being rewarded for its numbers.
And I remember, Ekta, when the Taro numbers came out, you had said that when Sun Pharma reports numbers, it could actually report a miss on margins because of the
Simply because of that.
The Taro weighing down on their performance.
Absolutely, because Taro in the previous quarter came in with single-digit margins. They came in at around 8 to 9%. So this quarter, the street was anticipating an improvement in margins. But when it came in with a disappointment where the adjusted margins were 0% and the reported loss was, there was an operating loss this quarter on Taro. So the street was extremely skeptical that maybe that would weigh on Sun Pharma. But that was a one-day reaction. The street started anticipating good numbers from Sun Pharma simply because of the operating performance led by their specialty sales, and that's what you can see play out, and that's the reason why you're seeing the resilience come in for Sun Pharma, the kind of valuation premium that you see for Sun Pharma as compared to the others because of the specialty business.
Okay, all right. Ekta, thank you so much for making sense of the numbers. Clearly, the street is liking what Sun Pharma has reported. Of course, as Ekta said, we are waiting for the breakup, and she'll be back with more analysis on that one. But for now, the stock is doing really well, a beat on all parameters. Revenues largely in line with what the street was working with. With that, let's do one thing. We will switch from the large cap name to the mid cap name now. As promised, we will focus on Satya Industries. The company is a manufacturer of wood and agro-based paper and is also engaged in power generation. It is in focus after a second quarter number, which has been healthy, even as it saw a sharp rise in raw material costs. Both revenue and profit after tax, in fact, grew over twofolds during the quarter. Rajinder Kumar